Hmm.あ、で、トラッキングが邪魔になるんだよね。まあいいや。えーっと、alright. So, let's see, this is for the recording. So, what I found right here is some kind of Thorlabs cage mount system. That's what this all this bulky stuff on the outside is. Um, it's uh, it's a what do you call it? It's Thorlabs sells a kind of a general system for mounting optical hardware, and these kind of square things in these posts belong to that system. But anyway, so I did unscrew these earlier. Let's screw them back in so we don't lose the set screws. The first reason why this caught my eye was because I saw there was an A-sphere in there, so a type of lens. However, I think I was looking at it earlier, and there might have been a scratch in it, which is might be why they threw it. Oh no, actually, I don't think there is. Okay, so I don't know what coating that has. It looks a little blue, so I think it might be out of not, or it might not be the right coating for us. But we're still gonna keep it because it's nice to always have A-spheres. The next thing I wanted to check, well, part of the reason why I picked this out of the trash was because these short posts are sometimes convenient. And someone was just throwing this one piece out, so I was like, well, you know, as long as they're throwing it out, might as well take it. Cool. Cool. And then we have this left on the inside. So looking at this more closely, this looks like a laser diode. In fact, if you look at the back, there are some markings on here that kind of suggest it is a laser diode. Now, why they throw it away is kind of a unknown. The likely reason is it's broken. But nonetheless, I do want to see what the deal with this is. We might try to grab a current controller and pass some current through it later. So we're going to be a little careful here. One thing I will say is that with the way they've mounted this to this is a cage mount lens holder, I believe. But the way they've done this seems to be non-standard. Looks like looks like it was a plate for a half-inch lens that then they must have kind of milled off a little bit. So let's see, will this come out? I hesitate to put too much strength on it. There we go. I did check earlier that this was thermal paste. So actually I probably should get like I should get something to put this on so it doesn't get everything all bad. We'll get on everything. Well, you know, actually, well, if it gets on my fingers, whatever. So yeah, so there we have our laser diode plus stuff all over it. Maybe it's best to just wipe all this off, yeah. Oh, hey, wait. We have more information now. There's a model number, or not a model number, but there's some information there. Okay, we can use that. Cold pack 01051. What does that mean? Cold pack 01051. Let's type in like laser or something. That could be like some internal code, or it could be like a serial number or something. Like maybe driver. Maybe if I put maybe diode. Maybe it has to do with the diode. Okay, so that wasn't as enlightening as we hoped, but whatever. I need to go get some rubbing alcohol, so I'll go get that. Use those. So this. Okay. Let's make sure to ground ourselves. This probably isn't best practice because the static from the paper towels can probably... Oops. I don't know if they can necessarily damage the laser diode, but, well, you know, considering the... Well, I don't know. They could. But this was in the garbage, so we're not really losing anything anyway. But, oops. I hate these... I hate these squirt bottles because they always drip. Jeez, stop. Okay, so after having gotten a better look at this thing, it looks like there's some set screws in it. So maybe that's how... Looks super well made, but like, you know, assembly, like manufacturing line made, not like DIY well made. So maybe it is some standard part. Just that it's awfully noisy over there. But, you know, I think it was just midterms, so, you know, they're probably celebrating being done with midterms. I think it's okay to just let them be. Plus, you know, what right do I have to complain, right? I'm the one that does solo karaoke in the office when, you know, in the middle of the night, so I don't think I really have a right to complain. Yeah. I do think they should just go home and have fun, though, but, you know, maybe it's easiest to gather on campus or something. I don't know if I can relate. Okay, that smells bad. Let's get the air circulated. 頭が痛くなるわ。Okay, so there appear to be 2 set screws. There's a way we can get those. Actually, those screws look even tinier than the one that I brought here. Yeah, those are small. What the fuck? Are those actually set screws? Could those even be holding in? Well, maybe it's not necessary. Let's try... That's not the right screw. It's not the right one either. Okay. So, So we still have no real information about what this component really is. Well, I guess we have some information. Let's see. If I look up Thorlabs cold pack, do I get any fiber supplies? Oh, wait a sec. Here. Okay, I looked up cold pack diode, and I got something that looks pretty close to what I have here. So they say a DFB distributed feedback diode from Toptica. So then let's look up Toptica cold pack. Toptica cold pack. Toptica Eagle Yard instruction manual for cold pack. Hmm? Oh, does this PDF not exist anymore? Really? Let's see. So, copy link address, Wayback Machine. No. Oh, shit. Okay, so Toptica, how about Toptica manual for cold pack? The cold pack enable, okay. Let's try and go by product finder then. It's probably under discontinued stuff, right? Let's see if it's under. Let's see if cold pack is under there. No. So it looks pretty much like this. Unless that's just a generic size for everything, or generic type nap for everything. Maybe the easiest way is to measure the dimensions, and then we can somewhat infer from there. Alright, I guess at the very least I can look at the PCB. So, okay. So it does go 4, 5, 6, 7 top, okay. It looks a little like a little different revision. But in general, it still applies. So, okay, looks like whoever soldered this bridged some of the pins. Interesting. So it looks like they cut some of them too here. And what do we have here? why is this soldered the way it is? Hmm. Okay, so I guess we're looking at pad 6. Well, no, let's look at this. So pin 8 is tech minus. Okay, that's consistent. Pin 1 is tech plus, I assume. Yeah, okay. And then the 2 to the left of it, so 2 and 3 should be thermistor 1 and 2. Okay. So this has the pins for the temperature regulation in here, but not the stuff for the laser diode. Oh, but here's a disassembly, or this here's a breakout. So in here, I guess there's 2 screws. And then, well, the diode must be facing out that way. So then internally, after I pull off these screws, there must be the diode and then some kind of cover piece for it. Okay. And then from that, I guess I should be able to infer the direction of the diode. Oh, wait, no, this is the wrong diagram. Here it is. Okay. So after I rip this off, or no, I think this is right. I think it's just showing all the layer or the separate layers. Okay. So they say the connector PCB is this. That's this what I'm looking at. Man, I don't know what I'm looking. Oh, but okay, yeah, so the PCB revision, the revision version is the same. It's 1v2, unless that's not the revision number. So is there any other way I can? Otherwise it looks the exact same. Like even the trace widths looked right. It's just the, whatever, is this silk screened or text doesn't look right. Okay. Yeah, even the texts are bowing out a little bit like in diagram. Okay, so yeah. So the connector PCB and the 2 screws are there. And then presumably on the inside, there must be another flange that secures the diode. Okay. Okay, and that's why there's 2. That's why they're separate. It's because, right, in this image, the flange is already there. Okay. So that means if I just know what the orientation of the connector PCB is, I should be able to figure out what orientation the diode's also in. Okay. Okay, here we go. So, well, actually, I don't know. So PDA, which is presumably photodiode A, but then what is PDC? Okay. Well, okay, so this makes sense. The middle pin must be ground, and that's what it is wired up. Well, then where the fuck do these pins go to? This goes to via. This doesn't. That's PDA. Okay. So I'd have to flip the connector PCB over. Okay, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. But I guess I need to, or else I can't figure out which way to power this thing. And what's up with all the solder on this thing? Jeez. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me go get another screwdriver. 探すの手間かかった。よし。Right. See if we can get these set screws loose. I don't think these set screws immediately come into play, but we're going to loosen them beforehand. I guess I'm not really showing anything that I'm doing on screen. Anyway, okay, so, let's see. I guess this is recording, so I should do this. So if we switch back to the manual here, then we see that the laser diode in the, what is this called? Cold pack. I think that's just that's not a technical phrase, I believe, but within this cold pack, there's a laser diode right there. And that's secured using this kind of cap-shaped flange thing on the screen with two, what is this, screws of, screws, how descriptive. Anyway, and then behind that, there is this, connector PCB. So, yeah, I'm gonna go under the assumption that it's broken, but, you know, let's just see how it works. Or I'm under the assumption that it's broken, but we'll see how it works. I need, maybe it's this one? Maybe it's this. We'll see. That's too big. It's too small. I gotta Goldilocks this fucking thing. Is this really not the right one? Feels like it should fit. Come on. It's not working. So this is too small. This is too big. What's too big? So then what type of screw is that? So it's potentially, it felt looser than that. Let's try the other set here I have. Okay, so it's too big. Yeah, okay, fine. It's potentially metric, which is very weird since I just used an imperial screw to loosen it. But it's possible, you know, once it gets that small, it's hard to really tell the difference between an imperial versus metric one, so it's possible it's just close enough at this size to work. And switch the screen back now. Cool. So, if we dismount this now, or if we pull this out, then the entire PCB should come off. And now I want to be a little careful. Okay. Pretty sure this is the way I put it on. So top is this side. So verbally for, I guess, myself here, the top is the side with the label that says cold pack on it. And the diode in there has a part number. Oh, actually, Fuck yeah. Okay, cool, cool, cool. It is AC03. Oh, that doesn't really look like a part number. That looks like a serial number. 03789. Diode. Yeah, I guess that's probably a serial number, not a part number, which is fine. At least we got this off, and we get a little more information now. There's a little piece of copper sticking out there. What is that? Well, anyway, we'll see. So now we're moving over to these two screws now. Or I'm not on the right screen. We're moving over to these two screws now, that are labeled 1 on this screen. So it's not right. What is with these? So let's put these away. So these go here with those. And I suppose this is the part I should start wearing gloves for. Actually, so before I continue, so the diode has its 3 pins faced in the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 6 o'clock position. And of course that is with the label that says cold pack facing up, and then looking at it from the back. Okay. Oh, so long that I told myself which way is oriented first. Okay. So that's the cold pack, and yeah, I think this is about time I grabbed gloves. Yeah, should have thought of that. Okay. So maybe there's a little extra to get gloves, but yeah, the housing doesn't really have any information on it. Okay, so then let's try taking some pictures then, just for documentation's sake. Oh, fucking focus. Okay. And then, if I remember correctly, which I'm pretty sure I do, this was in the 12-3, 6 o'clock orientation for the diode. When facing from the back, 12-3, 6 o'clock orientation. Don't think I should actually be poking it with something metallic, but don't really have a choice. Let me make sure that everything is in the right position. Let's see, label side top, and then you have the top facing there, and it should connect. Kind of slipped. Seriously, who thought of this mounting method? No. And they're off-center. Okay, I think that's good. Oh, stop. Okay. Now I should be able to put the top back on. Okay. Not det short. What up? Okay. Right. So we weren't able to really find out anything from popping it open. Um, so all the middle pads seem to be bridged to one of the pads near them. Oh, you know, while I was down there, I should have grabbed my calipers. that the same orientation everything is soldered in? Soldered to the right, soldered down, soldered up. It is, okay. Set the soldering pads according to specific laser diode. For detailed information, see paragraph 3. So pad 4J, for example, they do to pad D. Okay. 5J, they do up to C, I guess. So this is in the default configuration. 6J is to A, which is bottom. 7J is to C, which is right. Or 7 is to D, actually. Yeah, so they never use pin B. So CDA. Okay. Well, this looks like totally the default configuration. CDA, C is on 1, D is on 2, A is on 3. Since we don't know what model the photodiode is, we can't really guarantee that, but I guess whoever mounted this thought so. And in that case, it should be right. Okay. So yeah, the question then just becomes, does this thing actually work? Oh, what are the bottom two ones here anyway? 2 and 3. What are thermistor 1 and 2? Okay. Why are there 2 thermistor pins? Actually, I guess, yeah, well, you know, the thermistor is going to show up as a resistance, so I guess it just makes sense as 2 non-polar pin, or 2 pins that don't have polarization to them. Okay. So this goes on here. Now that I think about it, I thought this was going to be a customary thing because the mounting screws used, or not customary, imperial, because mounting screws used Imperial. But I just realized these mounting screws are probably something someone else added on afterwards. So it kind of makes sense that they don't necessarily line up with the rest of this thing. Okay, so that was confusing. So I guess lesson learned, our labs need some metric screws. The Broy, welcome back. How's it going? Good. Sorry, let me finish screwing this in and then I'll but anyway, so I'm on campus right now, but I was fishing through the dumpster as I usually do. And well, one thing is I found a 1080p monitor. So I've installed that on my desk now and I'm actively using it. So that's, you know, I already had two monitors. It's just one of them was like 10, or it was like 16, I don't want to say it was like 16 something by 1050. So it wasn't a 1080p monitor, but I found a working 1080p one today. So I was like, okay, perfect. I can do two 1080p monitors. The other thing that I found, or I guess I found a number of things today, but the thing that I'm actually messing with right here is this, which might not really be clear what it is, but it appears to be a photodiode and accompanying cooling, or well, I guess it's a mount plus active cooling system. So, you know, I looked, so this originally mounted like this with this on top of it. And I was looking at this and I was like, oh, interesting. That's an A-sphere. You know, these are used often in front of like light sources, like, you know, laser diodes to kind of make the beam. So the beam usually comes out like diverging, right? But you can use one of these A-spheres to kind of bring it back together. But so the idea is I saw this lens thing, this A-sphere, and I was like, wait, you use those in front of laser diodes. And then I was like, well, then the thing behind it must be, and I popped it open and it does seem to be a laser diode. And, you know, so this generates a lot of heat, or can generate a lot of heat, right? Which is why it's got all this kind of cooling components around it. Unfortunately, I just finished popping it open and it doesn't have a part number. So I don't know what color or what the spec sheet for this diode is. I just know that it should be a laser diode, and that's what I have on screen over here is the data sheet for the mount, you know, everything around it. So judging by the data sheet for the mount that it's in, I'm, you know, fairly confident that is a laser diode in there. It's just we don't know the spec sheet of the laser diode itself. I don't know what color it is. I don't know, you know, I don't know any of the properties besides the fact that it'll presumably shoot out light in some form once you power it. So, but you know, it was fruitful. At the very least, even if this diode in here doesn't work, you know, we can swap it for a known one and then actually use the remaining like cooling hardware, presumably. Of course, that remains to be seen. I don't know why this was thrown out. I'm hoping it was thrown out because no one knew what to do with it, but it's possible it was thrown out because, you know, some part of it was broken, right? So I'm hoping that if there was something broken, it's not all the cooling stuff, because we can reuse that. Because it'd be nice if the light source, the diode in there in the middle, the little circular thing, it'd be nice if this is also functional, but we'll see. Yeah, but now that I was able to look up the manual, I was able to look up the manual of all the mounting hardware, so I know how to test it, which might be fun. I don't know if this is something I should, you know, or spend too much time on, because Death Laser for, well, you know, I'm not going to use it for anything high power, obviously. And I think another reason why you can figure this isn't high power is because, well, look at this, you know, like honestly anemic cooling system. If this thing can dissipate all its heat using this small block of aluminum, it's not going to be that powerful, honestly. But if this does work, and I'm actually, so if we're lucky, this will be a, you know, some like what do you call it, IR wavelength. And if it is, then I have a use for it in the lab. If not, then this will be fun just as a spare, you know, light source. But we got to figure out what color it is. And for that, well, I think the first thing I want to do is, before I even power this on, all these wires here are for the cooling system, for the active cooling system. So I want to check the pinout for these later at some point, and probably not today, but later at some point. And then I want to drive the cooling system first, just to make sure that, you know, if I do test the laser, it's going to, you know, cool off fast enough, right? And then we'll go from there. Is that a VGA cable? It's close, actually. If you look at it very carefully, you'll notice that it's only got 2 rows, so 9 pins total. Will my camera please fucking focus? Sorry, give me a sec. Yeah, you're correct. So this is a 9-pin D-sub connector. The VGA cables are actually a 15-pin D-sub connector, or 15? No, wait. How many pins is VGA? Is it 15? I kind of said it reflexively, but it could be 15 or 16. Let's see. It is 15, yes. So you'll notice that it's very similar in shape to a VGA connector, but it's actually got, if it would fucking focus, hello, please. There we go. You'll see it only has 9 pins there. So that's actually a D-sub connector, which is often used for, like, say, serial communications, or in this case, like, straight up just analog signals. And, you know, it's doing power delivery. This would be doing power delivery plus analog signals and so on and so forth, so. But you're correct in that the housing is the same. This metal outline part, yeah. Yeah. No, you know, this is one of those funny things. Like, you know, you know, coming into the university, I didn't really have any particular interest in, you know, optics, right? But, you know, joining the lab, you know, I learned a lot of stuff. So now, you know, when I was fishing through the dumpster, I was like, oh wait, I recognize that component. It's something. Well, not only is it obviously something optics related, but I know specifically it's probably going to be a diode, right? Oh, and sorry, so I actually just finished my physics bachelor's. Yeah. So kind of makes sense, you know, optical physics, right? I mean, that's not what I did. It's just that I'm in an AMO, so that's atomic, molecular, and optical physics. But I'm in an AMO group, so, you know, of course I would get, you know, experience in, like, optical physics. And if I have experience in optical physics, then of course I'm going to notice a component like a, you know, a light source in the junkyard or in the recycling bin, right? Yeah, we'll see what I actually use this for. I think it's, you know, it's one of those things where I honestly don't have a good use for it at this precise moment. But, you know, considering how many times it'd be nice just to have, like, a spare light source to try something with, I don't think we're going to have any trouble finding something to do with this. Yeah. I mean, so the main part is that, you know, so all this really needs is a, well, it really only needs a power supply, right, to turn on the laser. For the laser to turn on, all that you really need left is a power supply. All this extra stuff is like, you know, if you have a power supply, you want to, you know, and it's generating heat, you want to make sure you dissipate all the heat. So, which is why you need all this extra stuff. But technically, if you know how much power it's going to use at what, you know, at what current, or how much power it's going to dissipate at what current, and then you can, actually, I guess you could compute that anyway, but you have to know the, what do you call it? Well, no, actually, yeah, with the amount of electricity it uses, I guess you should just be able to compute the power, right? You just need to know, well, it depends if you know the voltage drop across the diode, but, what do you mean spare light source? Yeah, right, like sort of like a flashlight. Yeah, so, basically a flashlight, except it's a special flashlight. Yeah, that's literally what I mean. Yeah. You know, I mean, have you seen, like, you know, like little tours of people, or like physicists in their labs, and they got these, like, fancy, like, you know, lasers going all over the place? It's just that, yeah. The reason why I specify light source as opposed to, like, a laser is because it might not be a laser, right? This might not be a laser diode. This could be a maser. Actually, I don't think they make masers this small, but it could be a it could be like it could be an LED, or specifically what we use is a superluminescent diode, so an SLED. It could be any number of things that emit light, but which is why I said just in general light source, because I don't know if it's actually a laser diode. It looks like one, but there are other things it could possibly be. So yeah, but yeah, it's just nice to have a spare, you know. You know, right? Because you know you need a beam of light, and sometimes you just need to do a quick experiment or something. But you know, you don't want to buy a whole system and be like and wait 2 weeks for it to arrive, right? It'd be nice to have just a spare you can kind of just throw onto a table real quick. So I don't think there's any issue with just having extra, which is why it'd be very lucky for us if this worked, because following that logic, there's no reason to throw one away. Right? So why did someone throw this away then? I'm hoping it's just because they didn't know what the fuck to do with it. But realistically, it's because something in here is broken. Right? so I'm not holding my breath for it, but it'd be nice if this was just functional and we just, we can use it. We'll see. Yeah. Actually, it would be really great is if this were a 780 nanometer wavelength. Yeah. At the very least, it won't kill anyone, right? Right, exactly. It's a little suspicious. It won't kill anyone, though, as long as we, ramp up the power slowly. But, yeah. Like, I don't know, like, I can think of a few things I might want to try with it, but yeah, right. So if it's 780 nanometer, so that's, like IR, then it'd be convenient for us because we have some tests we do want to run, and the only hardware we can run it on is IR compatible hardware. So if we're very lucky, this will serve that purpose. If not, then as long if this were visible wavelength, then there's a number of other things I could do with it, which would be very convenient. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, right? Let's first figure out if this fucking thing works or not, right? So, yeah. So how long does it take you to assemble something like this? This, I mean, obviously, so this, it looks like someone did all the hard work, right? Like this isn't entirely standard. This kind of, what do you call it? This kind of like diamond shaped thing in the center. The diamond shaped thing in the center is actually what they sell here. That's what this data sheet is. This data sheet here essentially specifies everything about this, they call it a cold pack, but this diamond shaped thing here. And again, that diamond shaped thing is really the entire thing that cools the actual laser diode. So the little brass colored can inside there, or actually it's number 3 in this diagram really. So number 3 in this diagram is like a brass colored like metal thing. And this is actually the thing that emits light. And then all this crap around it is to kind of secure it in place and then cool it off. But this bigger square thing that it's secured to, it's a little hard to see, but you can see that it's been perfectly like machined out on the edges to fit the diamond shaped metal thing. And that's probably what would have been time consuming. The diamond thing is what you're paying for. right, yeah. That's what you buy so that your little fancy flashlight, your yeah, so the box thing is like for mounting, and then you can see it goes on this post. And this post is pretty standard, or this post in this square thing is fairly standard. So you can go on like Thorlabs. If you look up Thorlabs cage mount, yeah, so then you can bolt this to like a table like that. And they actually make tables that have the right thread for this. So you can kind of screw it and then you can literally just bolt it on a table. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that once you get this thing, you get the diamond shaped thing mounted to this square thing, like once you have a way to like secure it together, then life becomes super easy because the rest of the crap around it is all standard. Like you can buy these like rods that are like this rod thing. You can buy rods that are like this long, or like, they're like super long, and you can have a bunch of like mirrors and stuff, and you can have like other lenses, and they'll all be like nice and like aligned just by using this kind of this mounting mechanism. So it actually becomes really easy. The annoying thing, right, exactly. This is the easy stuff. In fact, I'm just going to leave it like this, and then probably clean up because that's all I really wanted to check. But yeah, it becomes, so the hard part is just getting it mounted, Yeah. I'm not gonna finish it today. mainly because, you know, I don't have anything to mount it to. I just, for today, all I really wanted to know is what the crap is that, you know? Yeah, oh yeah, no, I'm not going to get anything done. I'm not going to get it all done today because I still need a power supply for this and I still need, well, I guess that's really the main thing that I need. I need the power supply, yeah. And I honestly don't know where it went. Yeah. I think this is the right screw fit. Yeah, okay, so that was productive. But I think that's enough work-related stuff for today. Getting a little tired. Hmm? Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so before I go back downstairs, what else? Okay, so I need to take the IPA with me. I need to take these screws. Okay. I think it's just these three. And this... You know, I don't want that to get lost, so we'll keep that up here. So I'll be right back. Alright, so these two, and this guy. Alright. Brownie. Sorry, I didn't see that message. Anyway. Um, so I'm actually doing research with a professor right now, so, I don't know, I feel like I get brownie points already just by being like, hey, here's that progress you needed. Although admittedly I'm a little bit behind recently. I mean, my current PI is nice. He doesn't really pressure us to make progress, you know. And I think that's a kind of a pattern with doing research with professors, right? They understand that, you know, sometimes there is no progress, which is, you know, nice. Of course, if anything, what he would say, LSAO, welcome back. Yeah, so if anything, what my professor would say is probably don't worry about it and just buy a, just buy one. But, you know, it's nice. And sorry, so LSAO, just as a quick update on what the fuck is going on. I found one of these in the recycling bin. What it is if you ignore this component on the top, this is a laser diode and accompanying cooling system. But well, it's a cooling system as long as you give it power. You need to give it power and control. But assuming you have the controller, then this will cool, or this will drive and cool this laser diode. But anyway, so I saw this in the dumpster and I was like, oh, hey, I recognize what that is. And I picked it up. So I just, you know, missed your streams during vacation. Well, so the thing is, yeah. So I've been on I haven't streamed in a while, so I don't think you missed much, right? If anything, I also picked this from the dumpster. Well, it wasn't like this at the time, but what this is it's actually the internals of I don't know if you know what a water pick is, but a water pick, like PIK, is it's like flossing. It's a tool to floss by using like a stream or like a, you know, like a water like jet. So the idea is that this had like a handle over on this side, and then it had like a little pointer, and when you clicked it, it would squirt water into your mouth. And the idea was that you aim that between your teeth, and then it, you know, it knocks the gunk out of there. But what I realized, or what I was thinking when I so no, this had like it had a proper container and everything. It's just, so it had the box. I just took it apart because I didn't need the other stuff. The only part that I really needed is this mechanism, which is, if you can look at it like this. So the water comes in from the top here, and then this motor kind of forces it through this area and then out the bottom, and then on the bottom is hooked up to this hose that squirts it out. But the idea is, I was looking at this and like, oh, this is like a, you know, it's just a cheap pump, really. It's not only is it a cheap pump, but it's a cheap pump that's just powered by a switch really easily. Like, I don't have to worry about you want the water pick though? Well, it's because it was used, man. Ugh, gross. I was like, I don't want to, you know, actually use it for flossing. But I was thinking, well, you know, even if not using it for flossing, I can still use it as a pump, right? You know, this is basically an aquarium pump, right? So, you know, I was thinking, I was trying to think of what I could do with it. But the long story short is that this is, you know, you can plug this into the wall. It has all the hardware to plug into the wall. You flip a switch and then the pump turns on. Like, so it saves all the hassle of trying to build that, right? So, but then, you know, so I could hook this up, this side up to like, I don't know what I could do with it. Let's think. You know, some kind of like water cooler, right? Like maybe for a computer or something. I think this is probably a little bit too low power for a big computer, but if I wanted to like make like a DIY, you know, PC water cooling loop or something, I'm pretty sure this would, you know, I imagine it's probably strong enough. I mean, I've used a water pick before and they're pretty powerful, so I assume it has enough, you know, pressure to kind of probably cool like one component or something. But I was looking at it, I was like, hey, it's just an easy, you know, it's just an easy water pump. So I'm going to save this. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but yeah. Yeah. Dentists have a really nice one. I don't know if you guys seen the dentist's one, but the dentist's ones are actually often they're gas powered. so so they're really powerful. This isn't anything like that. Or I mean, it's the concept is the same, right? The concept is just a cheaper version of what dentists use and electronic, but the dental ones are really nice. But if I remember correctly, they're gas powered, so not necessarily the thing you could keep at home. I mean, I guess if you had just like a tank of gas at home, right, then you could probably pressurize it. But I don't know. To give it flavor. Yeah, like the powder, I assume. Yeah, and actually there were a couple actually this is another thing that came out of the dumpster that I thought was really useful. This is a passive HDMI to DVI cable. That seems like, well, why would you need that? I can't believe how many times I've needed this cable. So I always have to buy one, or I always have to tear one off of my computer because I just need it randomly that like one time. But now there's a spare, so that's good. And there's also a DisplayPort to HDMI cable, so that's nice. The ones that are liquid? Oh yeah, right. So sorry, what about the liquid flavoring? You know, I see those are popular recently, and I don't know. I haven't tried any. I haven't, you know. I feel like the ones in the US, these two cables are also from the dumpster. I'm saving it. I don't have a use for it, but considering how many times I've just like randomly needed it, I'm saving it here. It's going in my little box. It's going in my little box of random electronics that I'm saving. Actually, someone came by for Scotch tape today, and I realized our office doesn't have any Scotch tape, like, at all. Squirt them on your tongue, it tastes corrosive, well then don't. Is that knowledge from experience or something? Like, don't. I mean, I suppose I can't really criticize that much. I remember in chemistry, one time we were working with some kind of... We had to make some kind of... we had to dissolve salt in like water or something, and then we had to use that for something. But I remember there's me and another guy were like, "Hey, is this actual salt?" And we're like, "Should we taste it?" And we're like, "Yeah." So we ate like one little crystal of the salt. It was regular salt, but you know, I guess I've done some stupid stuff like that too. Throwing in the dumpster. Yeah, you know, so that's the crazy thing, right? So like I mentioned this to the Bri just a moment ago, but like there was a regular 1080p monitor, like it was a little old, but it was like a 1080p monitor, totally functional, that was in the dumpster, and I'm like, you guys really didn't need this? Like it's pretty convenient to just have a spare monitor, I feel. But I guess evidently no one needed it, so yeah. Yeah, who goes, oh yeah, the water pick, you know, that is awkward, but if I had to guess, it's probably like some grad student probably left it in the office, and then they probably graduated and then like left all their stuff here. Because the thing is, there was a laptop in here, and it was left by an old grad student. They graduated during the pandemic, and I guess they just never came back. Yeah, right. The diode thing is like pretty weird too, because it's like, what you guys? So this diode like must have been used, right? Like this light source must have been used, and then at some point maybe it got swapped for an old one, or swapped for a different one, and maybe, you know, it just kind of sat there. But at some point, the hardware to run that diode must have been in the lab, right? So it must have still been there. So like, how hard would it be to just plug it in and be like, hey, does this thing still work? Should we still keep it? Which is why I wonder, maybe it was thrown away because it was broken. But then you could save all the rest of the mounting stuff, right? You could save the mounting hardware and all the machining you had to do to get it working for like a new diode. And all of that was also thrown away with it. So I was like, what? Anyway, and monitor, I mean like a computer monitor, right? Like it's the one it's plugged in right here over there. I'm actively using it right now. And there's like computers will sometimes pop up, and usually they're pretty old. Usually they're pretty old. There's like one computer down there right now that's really old, but sometimes there'll be like really new computers that are just thrown out. And I think I mentioned before, towards the end of last semester, um, there were doors. Like they were renovating one of the offices over there, and then they threw away the doors. So I was like, oh hey, 4 free doors. And the crazy thing is they were solid wood doors. Like they were I think I want to say they were about like 3/8 of an inch thick or something. They weren't super thick doors, but they were solid wood doors. And I was like, free doors. So I took them home. But anyway, right, yeah. Well, so that's the thing. So I'll say I think I've mentioned a few times, right, that these monitors keep popping up in the dumpster. So this monitor that I pulled out recently, this is the let's see. So were four. There were four before, or sorry, no. So there was one from our lab that got thrown away that it pulled up. There were 2 Apple ones. There were 3 more 1080p ones, so that's 6. Uh, there was the smaller Apple one, and then there was this most recent one. So that's 8. That's 8 monitors that have been thrown out. You have to get out. Right, yeah, sounds good. Thanks for coming by. Take care, stay safe. Have a good evening. We'll see you later. But yeah, that's 8 monitors so far, and that's not all of the monitors because I haven't picked up all the monitors. I know some people have been fishing them out as well. So just from me, there have been 8 functional 1080p or greater monitors in there, and it's like, you guys didn't need this. Like, I don't know. It's kind of. I mean, I understand, right? Like the people who are throwing these away have better things to do than to troubleshoot monitors and stuff. But from my perspective, it seems a little wasteful, you know? It's like, these are, again, these are functional things, it's, yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, so that was my haul from today. Um, I think tomorrow I'll probably look into how to power it or power the, actually, I guess I can look into that right. Well, I don't want to open it on stream right now, but um actually that's mounted differently. Hmm. If the cold pack is delivered with the built-in laser diode, the soldering pads are set accordingly. So maybe it's okay. Hmm. Let's assume it's connected properly. Show us the monitor. Careful cam move. I guess that's technically possible. It's just kind of a pain. Let's see. How do you unmount this thing? Not the, oh, that wasn't the right. Shit. It's not the right screw. Okay, sorry, I need to move this microphone away. Okay, okay, I think I got it. Ah, shit. Okay, let's see. Maybe it's the other way. No, it doesn't. Definitely feels like the right way. Okay. Sorry, I don't think this is happening. I don't remember how I mounted this camera, but I can't get it off. I think I can take a picture of it and throw it on Discord though, so you'll have to settle for that, unfortunately. Okay. Okay. It's okay. Okay, yeah. Sorry, but it's a very plain monitor, man. I mean, I suppose I'm glad it's not broken, right? But it is just a monitor. Okay. Uh, let's see. What else was I gonna do today? So let's see. I dealt with the water pick. Throw that over there. Um, I I dealt with the laser diode. I suppose I should save this manual somewhere. Facing, yeah, yeah, actually, yeah. So you have to forgive me. Although thankfully, none of the monitors I have are very reflective. So, so let me just download these things. Yeah. Yeah, at the very least, it might be like a cooling plate we can use, so that'll be good. But yeah, yeah. What else was I gonna do today? I don't know. Um, I guess there's some shopping I want to do, but I really shouldn't do that on stream. Yeah. Let's see. I guess all that I really need to do now is, well, actually, there is something else I want to do, and the deadline for that is actually coming up pretty fast, so I guess we'll go back to more stream stuff. 12 zodiac signs? Fuck, I know, I only know a few of them, let me think. So, I know a dragon is one. Well, I'll say it. Just as long as you don't try to back calculate and figure out when I was born. But I was born year of the boar. So I know that's another one. I know there's a tiger, and there's wait, actually, no. Are the zodiac signs the same in? I might be thinking the Chinese ones. Is that right? They're different, right? If I remember correctly, or maybe they're the same. I don't know. What am I thinking of? I was thinking of the Chinese ones that correspond to like what? Not no, not the Chinese ones. Okay, then I'm pretty sure I don't really know. um, yeah. Sorry, I was going by the Chinese ones. Even that, I don't really know very many of them, but um, uh, probably should finish this video. But yeah, sorry. So I don't think I can. I think that's just the conclusion. I don't think I can. I just realized, speaking of vacation, I never uploaded any of the pictures that I took when I went back home, because I actually went to, well, actually, where did I go? Did I even take any pictures? Fuck. I should have taken more pictures. Let's see. No, Google, stop bothering me. Yeah, so I actually went to San Diego for the biophysics conference after I went back home. Um, Got to delete this VOD. What happened? Hmm? Did I show something? Wait, my phone's off screen, right? I mean, I guess if I have to, I should, but well, I'll deal with that later. I mean, realistically, I'll just let it expire, but yeah, let's see. Ah, shit, I didn't take any pictures, did I? So I took one, well, I guess I took this while I was in Santa Barbara, so that'd be maybe a good, one to upload. Anything else that I took? Oh, yeah, yeah. So I think, so I guess, what the year, yeah, yeah. So what year of the boar, right? So yeah, so that technically, if you can, so if you know within a range of 6 years when someone was born, then you can use their Chinese zodiac like birth year to isolate the year specifically. So that's true, but I'll just trust that you won't Google it. Yeah, but so actually, so anyway, what I was saying was I went back home to help my parents, prep for something, or for kind of, yeah. So I needed to help them out, and then separate to that, we went to visit some family in Santa Barbara, and I actually have a picture of that. So I'll upload that to Discord or somewhere after, or well, I don't know. So if I Yeah, no, I'll just upload it to Discord. I don't want that up on just on Twitter, because I think someone could actually probably back calculate where we were from there. And the other thing is, after I helped out my parents, so just this past weekend, um, I went to San Diego for a biophysics conference. So I guess I never took any pictures during the conference, but I took a picture of how it looked outside from the hotel. So that's a nice view too. So I think I'll upload that as well. Actually, wait a sec. Did I do geolocation on either of those photos? But I'll upload those later. Yeah, I'm so bad about taking photos. I wish I took more, especially since how expensive it was to go there. Oh, again, locations and disabled. Good. Okay. Uh, like backups or something. No, that's fair. That's fair. I'm so bad about taking photos that I gotta do it more. Yeah. So actually in San Diego, because the our research group, or the grant that funds our research group covers our travel and food expenses during conferences, right? So me and the other person that went to San Diego this past weekend, we went out to get steak, and it was so good. The steak was so good, but I forgot to take a picture. It was so good though. I think it costed like $100 per person at the end. Yeah. Like, but the way we thought about it was like the food budget per person, I think is like $75 a day for those conventions. And what we realized is like, okay, yeah, so like suppose the grant only covers like $60 or something. That still means we get to eat like the $100 thing for like $40, right? So it's like, fuck yeah. So yeah, yeah, no, it was very good though. It was very good though. And actually, so the crazy thing is, I remember we got a 6-ounce steak, and it wasn't just the steak; it came with some extra stuff. The bread there was good too. I can't remember what it was called, but the bread was good, man. The bread was so good. But anyway, um, yeah, it was like a 6-ounce steak. I think the steak itself was only like $50. I think the other stuff was just kind of added to the cost, but But so that's the thing. Like, the steak was so good, but it was like 6 ounces, and I was like, "Is that gonna be enough?" And I was like, "Well, whatever. I can just get some like McDonald's or something if I get really hungry, right?" But even 6 ounces of steak was like it was very filling, so it was very good. It's the only time I can eat nice food when someone else pays for it. See, that's a strategy, man. You gotta get into to you gotta get into a well-funded research group, and then you gotta go to a lot of conferences, and then they pay for your food. That's the strategy. Yeah. I mean, if I'm being really honest, it's I think the conference went as well as it did. We were only there for well, I was only there for 3 days out of 5, and the grant covered basically most, if not all, of my travel expenses. It only covers stuff to and from the conference directly, right? So it only covered going from LA to the conference, and then from the conference back to Berkeley. Uh, the conference was in San Diego. My parents live in LA, so yeah. So I went from my parents' place in LA to San Diego. So it covered the train there, and then the plane ride back from San Diego to Berkeley. So, and then the food was covered, right? So, and I think the best thing is that, as far as I can tell, it's only been, what, what did I say, Saturday? It's still Saturday over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's only been 4 days since I got back, but I don't feel, like I don't think I caught COVID is my point. In fact, I don't think I caught anything. So it's like, I got to go to the conference, I got to eat good food, I got to stay at a nice hotel, and I didn't catch COVID. Like, what more could I ask for, right? So it went really well. It was very fun. It was a biophysics conference. So you know very much there wasn't so much like like what do you call it, raw physics there. It was very much, hey, we use these physics techniques to analyze things in biology. So it's very much more bio focused. So I was quite a bit out of my element, so to speak, but it was still very interesting. It was very interesting. There were several posters about nanopores, I guess. A nanopore is literally just a really small hole. The idea is that you can pass various things through this hole and do certain operations on it. So I learned about nanopores. There's some people doing stuff about microfluidics, which, as the name implies, well, it doesn't really imply, but with microfluidics, what you're doing is you have something going on in a very narrow channel that through which like liquid is passed. So what this person was doing was it was something to do with like the what do you call it, like the stress, how much you can stress like a protein or like some kind of like surface protein. They were measuring I think the like the structural integrity of it as a function of I can't quite remember. But anyways, it was very interesting. Um yeah. Oh, whoops. Where's my I can hear my iPad ringing. Where's it? Oh, here it is. But yeah, San Diego. I didn't get to see any of San Diego though. Yeah, I was telling people I was gonna go to the conference, and they were like, "Where is it?" And I was like, "San Diego," and they're like, "Oh, that's a great place. You should go to here, 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 and here." And I'm like, I am gonna be so busy with the conference that there's no fucking way I'm gonna have time to go all to all these places. And in practice, I didn't, but nonetheless, even the conference by itself was fun. Yeah, I'm gonna keep working on this. Monarchy, welcome back. Well, I guess I'm the one that's back, which is kind of the pattern the past few months, really. Yeah, how's it going? Um, how was the Eminence and Shadow, dude? Just because it did finally end, right? So, but anyway, um, yeah. So I did a number of things, right? I went home to help my parents with something they were doing, and then I went to a conference in annoyed. Oh, okay, yeah. With the anime or with other stuff. I don't know. Um, but yeah, so I went home and then I went to San Diego for this conference. But the anime that keyboard is silent. It's actually pretty noisy, but the noise canceling is pretty good. I can show you how noisy it's supposed to be. I think if I do disable this, yeah. Sorry, let me do it like this. Um, so that's without noise suppression. And this keep it like this. Wait, sorry. So keep it with the noise or not? I kind of assumed that keyboard noise was annoying, but I guess I can disable it. Yeah. Okay, so I guess yeah, the anime, it does kind of choose its audience, so that's fair. That's fair. You don't have to force yourself to watch it. It's I guess the annoyingness is supposed to be part of the appeal, but anyway. Yeah, sorry, so which do you want the keyboard suppressed or not? Because I can do either way. Actually, that's one. No, if I know, I mean, okay, yeah, I can disable it, by all means. And also, this has what kind of key is it? Yeah, they're red keys. This has or they're not cherry, I think, but they're red mechanical keys, so they don't click as loud as like blue keys. Um, yeah. I can turn it off. It's actually nice because it uses a little bit less system usage or system resources. So it's actually nicer to not have it on, but yeah. Like normally what you'd do, right, is you'd have your microphone like further away or something and you'd make it so that your keyboard doesn't, reach anyway, but yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So Monterey, I went to this biophysics conference and it was fun and well, it was fun, but more importantly, I got to eat on someone else's dime. I had steak, dude. Not every day. Just one day. But I had steak, man. It was good. It was good. It was. I think it costed. So I was telling Elsa this as well, but it was like I think $100. That was the tab at the end of the day. So the what do you call it? The food budget per day doesn't cover all food. I don't know how much it covers up until, but I get a discount to get to eat steak, right? So I'm like, fuck yeah. Do you find a hate San Diego? Well, that's the thing, man. I was in the conference like the entire time, man. I was either in the convention center or in the hotel. So like, so people, when I told people I was gonna go to San Diego, they were like, "Oh, you should go visit, this place and that place," and I'm like, yeah, sure, of course, and then obviously once I get here I'm like, oh hey, I have no free time. So yeah, it'd be nice to go back eventually, but or maybe it wouldn't be, I don't know. Actually, it's good that I'm getting sleepy because I was a little worried. I had coffee a little bit late today, and I was like, "Am I gonna stay up all night again?" But nah, I'm actually getting sleepy. That's good. Actually, the thing I missed out on with San Diego is that I my old roommate, right, the one that has a degree in history, right? Um, he was from San Diego or somewhere in San Diego, I guess. But he said like the tacos are like fantastic in San Diego, and I was like, shit. I never got a chance to eat any tacos. Well, the thing is, there were some taco places, but I was like, okay, these are taco places that are near the convention center. So they're like super like touristy places, right? They're like fancy. They got the fancy like modern decor and stuff. And I'm like, these aren't the I'm sure these are not the tacos that he was talking about. Like the kind of tacos he was talking about, right, are like food truck, like parked on the side of the street. All the construction workers are eating it type tacos, right? And I was like, where are these tacos? I couldn't find any. But so I missed out on that. But like, but I was like, I'm not gonna waste my time with these, super like touristy tacos. I want like the good shit, I want the shit that like, it's way outside that, and I guess that's the problem. I should have, maybe I could have taken an Uber or something, but imagine taking an Uber. How am I supposed to justify that on, when I get reimbursed? It's like Uber costs like, $50, and it's like reason tacos, like you don't exactly, right? It's like, yeah, why did you take like a half an hour Uber, in the middle of the day? It's like, lunch tacos. like like what am I supposed to say to the person in charge of reimbursements, right? Yeah, actually, let me get a drink. But yeah, overall it was fun. Actually, so the person that went with me was like, he didn't really have a lot of fun, but it, sorry, I thought I saw something. Yeah, the person that went with me didn't have a lot of fun, and I think he had a point. The point that he made, and so this guy is I guess he's finishing his PhD program, um, and he went to give a short 10-minute presentation, uh, but he didn't really like it, and I guess and the reason, which I totally agree with, is BPS. Well, it stands for Biophysics Society or Biophysical Society. But the BPS conference covers basically everything that they cover. So it's a lot of biophysics crap. I say crap, but I don't mean as in it's crap. I just mean there's just a fuck ton of stuff. It covers everything from implementate, actual usage to like technology development to like, stuff like it. There's a lot of topics. And as a result, so as a result, when you go to the conference, you realize like there's so many like things that are going on. Like I even thought something like, like COVID related research, I thought that would maybe dominate a section, but like there were a handful of them. Yeah, certainly. Like COVID, related like mechanisms or, some analysis of that. Like there were a handful of those, but there were just so many different things. You'd think that there'd be like a big like HIV section maybe, or you'd think there'd be something for like, like you'd think that these very like, hot topics would have like tons big, like massive sections dedicated to them, but they don't. There's just a ton of different topics all spread out. And, there's some degree of organization. It's biophysics. Yeah. As I don't know if that's technically one word, but biophysics. So this biophysics conference, it covers everything. So it's basically, right, it's biology with like physics, or with a physics kind of spin on it, right? It's not just pure biology. It's biology with some physics related, analysis or implementation or technology or something, right? That's why it's biophysics. But everyone's, and it's cool because there's so many different things going on. But the point that this graduate student that I went with made, and again I agree with him, is that it's too it's too broad, even for a field as specific as biophysics. Like biophysics is a specific subset of physics. Well, it's actually kind of the intersection of physics and biology, obviously, right? But even then, just calling it just biophysics by itself is too broad of a topic, right? Because you have computational biophysics, you've got like technology development, you got all these things going on, and so he said the conference was simultaneously too small and too big, and and I totally agree with him. It was too small in the sense that there wasn't like a ton going on, in that like there was a lot of stuff going on, but like there's only like a handful of people that are ever talking about like one specific topic. So like if you're interested in like technology development like I was, then there were only a handful of people there regarding biophysics technology development, right? There was a bunch of other biophysics stuff going on, but so it was small in that sense. But it was also too fucking big in that there were just too many different things going on, right? So you get neither of the benefits of a very specialized conference or a big conference, right? Like, because you could have a massive conference, and then just by sheer number of people, there'd be a bunch of people for each subtopic that you're interested in. But this conference was too small for that, so there were only a handful of people at any given time. But it was also too small. Or it was also a small conference because, again, it's a subset of biophysics and stuff. And so as a result, the number of raw people there was also smaller. So it's like you get neither of the benefits of either type of conference, which is why he didn't like it. And I agree. And, like, that's one thing I was a little bit disappointed about. But nonetheless, for me, like, I don't admit it, like I honestly don't know what I'm going to do going forward, right? I don't even know if I'm going to stay in research, but assuming I stay in research, I don't know what kind of direction I'm going to go in the future. So it was very fun for me in that I got to see all these different things that are going on, and granted I was lost like 90% of the time in terms of what they were talking about. It was nonetheless interesting to just kind of walk up to someone and just be like, hi, I have no idea what you do, can you explain it to me? And they're very nice, especially at the posters. I think really what I should have done is I should have just stayed by the posters the entire day. And it's not like people are standing next to their poster the entire day, but it's just the poster session, which is really just, they had a bunch of posters laid out, and then you could just walk around and talk to people, or people were kind of explaining what their research was to people that were walking by. But that was, I think, the most interesting, because you could just really just walk by, and most people were, and I say most, but basically everyone that I spoke to was totally happy, assuming they weren't already, well, they could, I think it was good to eavesdrop, but also, some people were just kind of like standing there, just kind of like messing with their thumbs, just kind of waiting for someone to walk by, right? And if you chat them up, then they're totally happy to kind of explain what their research is, and very often they'd be able to tie it into like very fundamental concepts. So it wasn't all just kind of like abstract, like just we're analyzing this random protein or something, right? No, it's like it's very much they were able to break it down and explain it to you. So like those are really those posters were interesting to listen to, yeah. But so overall I thought it was fun, but again, as the grad student that I went with said, I do agree, it was this strange situation where it was both too small of a conference and too big of a conference at the same time to be, it could have been better, I guess is the point. And I agree with him with that. Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah. Oh, but what else will say for sure? Knowing how it was, I would definitely not pay for it out of pocket. I would not pay to go to BPS out of pocket, in the future. I didn't pay for it this time. I won't be paying for it next time. Like not even the membership. The membership is like $25, and I'm like, yeah, no. Thankfully, the you know, the group covers it, so I didn't have to pay for it, or I'll get reimbursed this time, but nonetheless. You only pay for anything actually correct. Yeah, I pay for some stuff. I've paid for. It's funny, the stuff that I actually pay for, I don't fucking use. Like, you look on my screen, or you know, if you see on my screen, there's Melodyne and you know some Isotope software, but you know, I haven't actually used those yet. So, the stuff I'm willing to pay for, I don't fucking use. Yeah, I'm trying to do something better about, or I'm trying to do better about that, but you know. Actually, I'm not gonna go far. I'm not gonna. I think I'm just gonna chat a little bit more and call today, just because you know, it's hard to chat and listen to this video at the same. Well, I guess I could do it, but yeah. Anyway. Well, I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of tired today. And the thing that I noticed, so I've been trying to watch some of these, like, you know, intro mixing tutorial type stuff. And the thing that I've definitely noticed is that if I'm tired, none of this information makes it through to my head, to be really honest. like, I don't know if it's just me, but I really need to focus on what the heck they're trying to explain. Like, you know, I really need to like listen very carefully, or else and even then I barely get what the heck they're getting at. So yeah, it's difficult. I have a lot of respect for people that do this professionally. Yeah. And I realize part of it might be my headphones, you know? Like I you know, these are Sony MDR 7506s. So from what I'm told, they're fairly standard in industry, but I imagine, or at least from what I've heard, there are more standard ear or headphones that you could use that make it easier to do this kind of analysis, or this kind of acoustic analysis. But yeah. Yeah, but I think mixing is something I'll have to learn to do myself no matter what. Yeah, I think not because I can do it good, but because I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like, it seems kind of fairly fundamental knowledge for. Yeah, not for everyone, but just saying. You gonna be streaming tomorrow? Probably. Yeah. I don't know what time though. I think. Yeah, what am I doing tomorrow? Well, you know, I have no reason to not be streaming, right? But I'm getting kind of tired, so I don't think I can focus on this too much. I'll give it a try. It's very slow, but it's slow but steady progress, I'd say. Yeah, so today was just this dumpster crap, and then what else? I guess I want to do some soldering, and yeah. Yeah, I want to do some soldering tomorrow. Okay, yeah, so I guess there's a number of things I can do tomorrow, or that I need to do tomorrow. But before that, I just need to memo to myself. I need a way to make, I think I want to make OBS portable, or I want a portable version that I can run. I think, actually, yeah, I don't need to make it portable. I just need a version that is portable that I can run. So I can leave my main installation the way it is and then just run OBS, a separate instance of OBS in portable mode, so. And sorry, the reason why I want to do that is because I want a version of OBS I can just hit play and then start streaming on that's set up for a different hardware configuration than what I have right now. Like right now I have like, you know, multiple webcams and, you know, the audio interface and stuff installed. And in the portable version, I just have a webcam on, and then I just want the microphone. So I guess the idea, yeah, so, right, so, and I don't want to switch preferences every time is I guess my point. Yeah, so ideally if I set up OBS in portable mode or set up a different instance in portable mode, then that will keep its own configuration or, you know, preferences and configuration while my main installation keeps my usual configuration. And I just have to remember not to fuck up the version or mix them up, right? So I need to do that tomorrow, so I'll set that up tomorrow, and then I also need to do some shopping. I actually don't have the shopping list for that. Mango, welcome back. Let's see. Yeah, so grocery shopping. Should I do grocery shopping? I shouldn't get used to staying on campus super long too often, so I should, yeah, I'll do grocery shopping and that'll force me to go home. So I'll probably do an earlier stream and then end the stream early. Well, I don't know. I'll think about it. Actually, nah. Let's cancel grocery shopping. I can do that on Monday. CTFs. Sorry, what is this? Alceo, thanks for popping by. Take care, stay safe, have a good evening. We'll see you later. Let's go to Oyster Meat. Well, so Mango, yeah, so I honestly don't know. Yeah, sorry, I just honestly don't know. I'm not really familiar with the, what do you call it, the InfoSec kind of. I'm a little confused if you're talking from like IT security kind of. Are you talking about IT security or are you talking about like finance? I'm a little confused. But either topic I'm not really familiar with. Sorry. So yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So, right. So before I end the stream today, I just want to finish this to-do list. So, right. So make an instance in portable mode. Probably buy what do you call it? A flexible camera mount. Is there anything else I needed? Basics, find deals. Well, I mean, again, I don't really know, but well, I mean, I'm not even quite sure what you mean by deals, but I imagine if you understand the basics, then at some point it's probably just faster to get practical experience, right? So I don't know what practical experience really means in this context, but if there's any way you can get something like that, then yeah. Let's see, so flexible camera mount, and then let's see, so check. Alright, so I'm going to check the current controller, and then what else is there to do? hacking the which crypto exchange? I'm not familiar with which exchanges are popular these days, but I mean, I suppose I wouldn't recommend hacking into one, of course, but but yeah, sorry, I suppose I guess what I mean to say is I'm not quite sure what you want to do. The Prestige. Sorry, I don't know what that movie is. The Prestige. 2006 film. I see. Sorry, I haven't seen this movie before. I don't know. I just don't watch a lot of movies. Sorry. Let's see. So current controller settings. Yeah, and then. Oh yeah, and then respond to emails. That's what it was. Because there's a few that I need to respond to, but I can't really do those on stream. Oh yeah, and then I guess upload pics from San Diego. Anything else I need to do? I think that's about it. Mark hasn't watched all Marvel and DC movies. I imagine it's pretty small, right? Because, well, there's a fuck ton of Marvel movies, and those are popular, so maybe there's a lot of people that watch that. But from what I understand, the Marvel and DC are a little bit at odds, right? So the probability that someone has watched both or all the movies from both of the studios, or sorry, I don't know if you consider that, if they're considered studios, I guess, but from both companies, is probably a little small, isn't it? Because if I understand correctly, again, my understanding is that there's a rivalry between Marvel and DC, so I mean that shouldn't stop anyone from watching the movie, right? But I imagine there's, it's probably fewer than, it could be. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I'm getting a little tired, so I'm gonna call it a day. So yeah, everyone that came by, thanks for coming by. Take care, stay safe, have a good evening. And yeah, no, fuck, I'm tired. But I'm gonna head out. So yeah, see you guys later. お疲れ、おやすみ、終わり。